What year was that?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay. And then sometime between 2006 and now you've pretty much become, is it fair to say you're the foremost, you're one of the leading scholars on the Lost Tribes?
Yeah, I think there's much smarter people than me out there, but I think that the fact that I've combined a lot of my ancestors' writings with what's going on, with my, millennial mindset, that I've produced a way new, lens to look through this
Right.
and how to see the picture.
Right.
So there's scholars out there who could talk about, the dress of the Abu Daya tribe here and what they're wearing and how it's symbolic and all the details. But I took a step out and I saw a much bigger picture going on that I think I introduced to the world. And I think it's really from my ancestors. My grandparents were speaking about stuff like this, but yeah.
You keep talking about your ancestors. So can you elaborate on what you mean by the work of your ancestors?
Right. So I come from one of the greatest rabbis of the 2,000-year Jewish exile. His name is the Vilna Gaon, Rabbi Eliyahu Kramer. And his students wrote a letter to find these lost tribes of Israel. Hundreds of years ago, they were looking for them.
Right, because originally there are 12 tribes of Israel.
12, let's get a little context. 12 tribes of Israel. There was a unified kingdom. Then there became a civil war, basically. They weren't really fighting with each other. They just cut off ties. And the northern kingdom was 10 tribes, and the southern kingdom was Judea, 2 tribes. And so we're the descendants, us Jews, from the Judean kingdom, the southern kingdom. Jew comes from Judah.
This is right after King Solomon, right? The king.
Yes.
A big, in terms of terminology, something I picked up from you was back then everyone was Israelites.
Yes, it was the house of
Jews
Israel.
were specifically from a specific tribe called Judea.
Well, the word Jew didn't
something
come
like
into
that.
reality yet.
Right.
But
we were the Israelite nation.
yes.
Made up of...
So let's just for the general population that knows general history about this, you have the Egyptians, you have the you have the Israelites. Israelites as slaves. They come out of Egypt, become a nation, independent, and then fast forward, establish a nation state of Israel, right? Would it be called? Would it be safe to say
the Commonwealth?
The Commonwealth. What?
A kingdom.
The kingdom of Israel under King David. People know King David. People know King Solomon, and then everyone just starts to just get lost into the pages of history.
Correct.
So this is actually, before we get into like the controversial stuff, this is just cool Jewish history.
Super cool because especially the prophecies, back then said that one day we're going to unite in the future, and even the Vilna Gaon says it's a crucial unification to get to the redemption. So I just look at those prophecies as like a really good, Hail Mary that they threw up pass, and
Today.
I think that this whole scenario is going to lead to a solution that will be the strategies. So, but we have to rewind a little before we get to it, to understand context of what is a Black Hebrew Israelite in the first place, before we understand how do we answer them back in a way that's not like talk to the hand, like and cancel them.
Right.
So should we do that now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a little bit more background. You're very involved with Amari Stoudemire. I think you helped him through the conversion process.
He helped himself, but I was just a study partner of his along the way.
You're very involved in the community. I don't know how to categorize Amari. I don't know how he categorizes himself, but like you're
just a holy
you're not
Jew.
just like
You're in this space.
This
you are
stuff.
in this space that a lot of people, when it comes up, is like, and shut it down. Anti-Semitism. We can't hear it.
So I've been in this space because I've been debating these hateful people. Obviously, Amari's not in that camp. The people who are hateful towards the Jewish people, I've been debating them for many years, and I found it to be very easy to discredit their logic that they're promoting. But they're not really coming with logic; they're coming with emotions. So that's where there's like a clash.
So can you explain the claims and the context?
First, let's go just rewind, because the real elephant in the room is if you go to the government of Israel's website on their view on the lost tribes of Israel and who's from the house of Israel around the world, you'll notice one of the most common names in that report is the Igbo tribe, the Igbo tribe. And these are about 40 or so million people in Nigeria that self-identify as being Jewish. And now there's, 60 Orthodox communities in there who have converted and are practicing Judaism. And the leader of the Igbo people ruling over them is trying to, create an independent Jewish state. And they have a whole Jewish revival going there. It's fascinating. And the government of Israel is loving it, and they're supporting it. And Jewish people are making documentaries about it. And it's like the most exciting thing ever. And it's giving people a lot of like biblical renewal. So anytime I'm in Israel at like the Western Wall and I see a Igbo man,
Yeah.
I could tell because they're wearing Nigerian outfits.
Yeah.
I say, are you Jewish? He's like, yeah. How do you know? And I'm like, bro, bring it in, give me a hug.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's what he said to me. He picked me up at a Jewish community center. He goes, "Are you Jewish?" And I went, "Yeah." He goes, "This place is this house of worship, or this is what is this place?" And I told him what the JC. It's like it's a community center. They do events. It's about a building community. They do all sorts of. They take people from all races. I said, "Yeah." He's like, I am from Nigeria, Igbo. He didn't say he and when I said Nigerian, he's like, "Not Nigerian, Igbo.
Yeah.
Not Nigerian. I am Igbo. I am Jew. I am Jew." And we're trying to do what Israel did. They're supporting us. And he started going on this whole thing.
Yes, because Nigeria is just a name that the British like threw onto the amalgamation of a bunch of different tribes there that destabilized the region and led to a genocide and a Holocaust of the Igbo people. When in the 1960s, millions of them were systematically killed and murdered.
Yeah, he told me about that too, but I was like running late. So
And so it's like, so this is so relevant because we have such a never again
star.
Holocaust
Yes,
theme, but like these people had it. But what is mind-boggling to me, which I can't imagine why this is not in the news and not spoken about, is that like a large chunk, more than a fourth of the transatlantic slave trade came specifically from this one tribe. So how are we not starting to connect dots and being like, wait a minute. So the tribe in Africa that the government of Israel is fascinated with and, enamored by is now the blood of those people flowing through the African-American community here, which makes sense to me why they're all being like, we have an Israelite affinity where we're identifying, this is us, we are this. And so I'm like, so yeah, if the DNA of the blood of these people are in them, they have a valid claim to feel and say that. Where it goes wrong then is where spiritual bullies come and hijack that reality into forming cults that create hate and etc. So those are the people I battle. I'm not battling the reality that you could be from the house of Israel. Because, like I said, the bottle shattered and glass went around the whole world. I'm battling the bullies that are standing in between you and your inheritance, which is the Torah. Because if you really are from the house of Israel, come back towards the Torah. It's perfectly been preserved throughout the exile, which is what guys like Amari Stoudemire did, because he grew up knowing he was from the people of Israel from his mother. He had his identity.
does he have Igbo? Is he traced back to that?
No, we didn't do DNA. It's not about that because,
I'm
like
just
I
curious
said,
what his path to
yeah,
Judaism.
I'm sure it'll be interesting to test, but that blood is flowing throughout the whole Western Africa and into the diaspora here into America. And when guys like Amare looked into it and he saw the Torah and realized that it wasn't coming from me, I wasn't middlemaning it. The Torah is right here. It's from 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So when he went for the Torah, he went for what his ancestors had. He wasn't going for something that came from Europe or came from a human alive today. He was going for the real thing.